If you want to make your builds look like this one right behind me, keep watching because this is perhaps one of the coolest building mods for Minecraft ever. This is the Cocricot mod, which has been highly requested. Recently I covered the Mighty Architect, so you know I had to bring you guys another building mod that's even better. Now, when you first install the Cocricot mod, you'll be greeted by this, and this is kind of confusing, right? This is because you need the resource pack, so let's fix that. You want to download both the Cocricot mod and also the resource pack, and then enable the resource pack. Now, you'll also see it says Optifine required. This is because you need Optifine. The reason being is this mod uses connected textures, aka Optifine's CEM feature, to allow seamless integration and blending of the block textures. So when you enable the resource pack, it'll fix it. It went from some white error blocks to this really beautiful house. Next up, we also have a few other mods. So these mods you can ignore, fairy lights and sit. I just installed them for some of the custom maps that I downloaded, including dynamic trees. Cocricot does actually change the appearance of the trees anyway, so that's just an added bonus. But you'll see, as well as the Cocricot mod, we also have just enough IDs. You may be wondering why this is because pre 1.13 there's actually an item ID limit in Minecraft, so if you don't install this, then you won't get all of the items in the creative tabs. So this is a given. So once you've installed these, you'll be greeted by this beautiful game world, but then next you'll have another added challenge, which is removing these blocky annoying clouds. So let's remedy some bugs and fixes first. So you want to go to escape, options, video settings, and in here we want to remove those annoying square clouds. So clouds should go from default and just turn them off, and then now we have the amazing sky texture. Then also in video settings, you want to just turn smooth lighting to off or to minimum, which will fix some shader bugs, but that's mainly if you just use shaders. Now on details, you want to change the trees and set them to smart or fancy. This will correct the rendering of leaves if you have those problems as well. Boom! So now you can see this is a very beautiful map, which I actually downloaded off Planet Minecraft. I'm not taking credit for this, I did not make this map, okay? But this is like some beach style suburban house just in the middle of nowhere. We can see we have some chairs which we can actually sit on at this dinner table. Nice to meet you. And then we have some nice little drinks. Now the furniture, may I say, is not functional because this is a building mod. It's not a roleplay mod and it's not a survival mod. In fact, you can't actually craft any of these items. You have to be in creative mode to even play this mod, right? But there's some really nice decorative pieces in here. So let me just go inside this house, which I believe we have to open the doors because these pressure plates don't work. The author probably should have thought about that since we can't enter it. And inside this little humble abode, we have a bed and we have some nice little decorative blocks, teddy bear. It's a pretty cool mod. You can't sleep on the beds though, which is a shame, but you can sit on the chairs. But this is a nice little map. Now we're on a super flat map, so I'm going to show you the mods, elements, and the building blocks in Cocricot. Now, you'll notice in the creative tab, the textures look a bit different. That's because the Cocricot resource pack also changes all the vanilla elements too. So the normal standard tabs like building blocks, decorative blocks, redstone, etc., they're all different. All the item textures have been changed. That's so the vanilla game looks the same as the mod style, which is quite nice. So it can build with both vanilla and mod elements. Now you'll see the vanilla elements all look different, but the mod elements are actually in their own respective tabs. Now, one thing to note first of all is I am actually using Minecraft 1.12.2 for this video. Cocricot, past I believe 1.12, I think from 1.13 onwards all the way up to 1.20, Cocricot is now just a resource pack. It's not a mod. You access the blocks by renaming them in an anvil, I believe, with Optifine, but I'm using the mod version for 1.12.2 because I want to just be able to spawn all the blocks. So you can see we have a few interesting new blocks in plants and nature. So these are all decorative things like flora and trees and different plant pots, so we could make really nice looking gardens. I'll just spawn a few of these for an example. I'm going to spawn a few blocks from each tab just to show you what they look like and just for some inspiration for you guys and what you could use to build them with, what you could use them for. So all of these have really nice art styles. Now some of them will utilize 3D models, but for the most part they're just textured cubes. Also exterior blocks, you'll see some really nice ones here like classical mailboxes, post boxes, telephone boxes. These are just kind of decorative things. They're really nice, particularly for shops. So you can make some really nice shop windows. You can make some arches for buildings. There's some really nice pieces here, and also these holy crosses. Do note that these blocks are obviously of different sizes. And for example, things like the telephone box, with Optifine's CEM feature, which is why you need to install it, it will actually modify the look of a block based on the actual size of it. And it's also the same with banner posts. The more we build onto them and the more we extend onto the side of them, we can actually make them look a lot different. And then we can also hang things like redstone lighting off these side pieces. And the barber pole too, although that doesn't connect. But if you're building kind of Baroque style buildings, these archways look really nice. Now, even though I'm showing you these blocks right now, I will actually show you a montage towards the end of this video of just some custom maps that have been built by professional builders to show you this mod in action and the things you can kind of achieve with it. I'm not a very good builder in terms of advanced. I'm kind of like a mid-tier builder. So I'm going to show some community maps at the end just to show you guys the real power of the Cocricot mod and what you can experience with it, just to show it justice. But I just want to give you an idea of the sheer quality of just some of these 3D elements. We have everything from floor speakers to different coloured pianos, grandfather clocks and alarm clocks, winter stockings, and even clothes hangers, which we could use to create some kind of like fashion brand or clothing store inside a city map. Things like coffee machines and kettles for interior design, which is why Cocricot mod can be really good for old-fashioned like Victorian builds, but also modernistic style builds. There's really a lot of potential with this mod. Also, the lighting tab is quite nice as well. Now, the lights in this mod are really cool because you can actually just toggle them on and off, and there's a lot of different styles of them that you can hang on the walls. There's also classical candles, night lamps and desk lamps, and also neon signs which we could use in a modern build, like if we were trying to rebuild Miami for an example. I know the GTA 6's trailers literally just dropped recently, so using one of these neon signs to build like a San Francisco or Miami style map would be really cool and unique. If we right click some of these lamps, they do turn on or off, including the candles, which doesn't really make much sense, but that's just because we're toggling them in creative mode. But these night lights to toggle on by the side of the bed do actually look really cool. There's a whole bunch of different parts, including like cross fences, rope net fences, and partition poles, and also things like banisters and handrails for stairs that go up and down to different floors. Now, particularly like in the Cocricot mod is the fact there's such a large selection of different ladders. I'm just going to show you some of these fences, which are obviously connected blocks, which look much better than vanilla ones, and also these rope net fences as well, and partition poles which are kind of used at certain venues like cinemas. Of course, I'd like to give a few examples of some ladders as well. Now, I've spawned quite a few ladders here just so you can see what they all look like. We have a classic rope ladder which we could make for like a pirate map. We have a wood ladder, then a log ladder. Do bear in mind that some of them use the classical like 2D appearance, whereas some of them are actually 3D ladders, but they do function all the same where you can go up and down them, of course. A pool ladder for things like swimming pools, which is a little bit glitchy on my screen. I'm sure there's a better way to use this. For an example, placing it on the ground here to enter a pool actually places it in the way that it's supposed to be placed. And then also black wooden ladder as well. Now, if you are building like a European style map, particularly if you're trying to build something like a European map in a location like the Netherlands, let's say, there is also these nice attractive red bikes that you could place against the walls as well. There's a whole bunch of different chairs on here as well. Everything from beach chairs, which are kind of reminiscent of the Tropicraft mod, for an example, to things like counter stools, garden benches, and even simple sofa chairs, as well as chairs that you'd see in a typical American diner. As you can see, the variation is pretty nice. Now, I'm just going to show you real quick just some of the different blocks we can get. We have tables, we have storage shelves to build kitchens, things like fruit boxes and barrels, which should be great for 17th and 18th century builds, and also kitchen and bathroom amenities as well, including these really nice taps and faucets. Any blocks that really just attract my eye, I'm just going to spawn them just to give you like a close look at them. We have drinks and food, like these coffees with bread, which I believe is a croissant, and even this pineapple block. Remember that all of these have taken time to actually individually 3D model, which is pretty crazy to see how much sheer content is just in the Cocricot mod. But the random blocks of things like wood and other materials just for like connecting between different builds is just quite impressive. We have a huge array of different colored roof tile styles. We have a lot of different stairs, such as spiral stairs and just stringer stairs. Now, like I said before, instead of just placing these blocks randomly down on a super flat world, I will show you them in action on some maps towards the end of the video. I just wanted to show you some of my favorite blocks. Now, obviously things like the spiral staircases, depending on which position you put them in, you can make some really nice combinations, but they will function differently if you build them wrong, of course. But if you have like an idea of like your dream apartment or something, you can literally just build it with this mod. Now, doors are quite good because in Minecraft there's only a small selection of doors. In this mod there are some really nice door styles, but you only get a few colors and you only get a few extra styles, so there's not really that many extra styles that vanilla doesn't really have, because there's only 3 or 4 of each, but you do have different sizes and different colors and wood types as well. Windows and glass, we have quite a few curtain styles. And then we also have many different carpets and rugs. Some of them are like square types, some of them are antique types, and some of them are actually carpet blocks. So this is more of a decorative piece you just place down, and then this is actually a block which you have to replace the turf with, which kind of has a Mediterranean or Turkish style look to it, which I really like. Now for beds, there's a quite nice selection too. I showed you briefly at the start of the video, but there's some really nice mattresses which go on the floor. There's things like hammocks, there's bed lace canopies, and so many more different options. Some of them are larger than others, some of them are smaller than others, but the bed frames are designed to go with the mattresses because you actually place them on top of them, as you can see. And of course, hammock is just going to go between certain blocks. The bed sizes will change based on the size of the actual frame itself too, so you don't have to worry about it being too large. Now, I've showed you a few key block elements which I particularly like, and we've kind of explored the creative tabs available in Cocricot, but now I'm actually going to show you an official map which has all of the elements laid out on the ground, just so you can see them better visually. Okay, I think you're going to be quite overwhelmed here, but we're going to try and start off slow, just so I can kind of give you an overview of everything. So this map is basically a sample world, which you can download on the Cocricot website, which I'll link below. It shows you every single block type, which are kind of clustered together in groups, all different styles and colors, kind of like what I showed you before, but now you can see a real visual simulation of everything sat side by side. And also certain blocks here, which go together and complement each other quite well, like this balcony, are kind of placed in different building sets and styles, so you can kind of see which blocks blend together, what they look like when you actually build with them, and what they look like together side by side as a comparison. I really like this because it gives you like a closer up look of all of these interior elements, and it also gives you a closer up look of how everything goes together and snaps together when we come to the building phase. There's also some paintings which I didn't really actually see were a thing, and you can see there's also some lighting and flammable blocks in those groups too. So all of these are grouped together. As you can see, we have some particle blocks which are animated. We have all the stairs blocks here, which look really nice. These are all the roofing tiles, which I kind of briefly mentioned. And then these are blocks, which are kind of interior based blocks, which would particularly be good for building like banks and old classical interiors. So I'm just going to give you like a quick overview. This map is absolutely massive. I don't know if we can get across this whole course, but I just want to really just show you all the blocks together. So now I'm just going to put on a little bit of music and show you guys all of these blocks in a close-up. So now I'm going to show you another montage before we close out the video, which is just going to show you some really cool maps which are made with the Cocricot mod. I'm going to show you the interiors and exteriors of the maps and just show you what the community have done with this mod and the crazy things they've built with it. If you want to download Cocricot, you can go into the link down below in the description. I'll link the website because currently the only place to download it is their official website, and I believe it's by either a French team or a Japanese team, because a lot of the text on the website is Japanese, but the name Cocricot is a French word and there's kind of French and European style inspiration throughout the mod. Make sure to like the video and subscribe if you enjoyed it, and now let's get on to some of the cool maps that people have built with this mod.